Hello, and welcome back to a special edition of the Magic of the Mouse podcast for the week of January 20th, 2020. On this week's show, Bill Jr. has all the latest Disney news, including the Rise of the Resistance grand opening at Disneyland Park in California, as well as the opening of the 2020 Festival of the Arts at Epcot in Walt Disney World. Joining us this week will be our special guest, Jeff Bates, better known by his YouTube name, Dole Whip Dad. We will be discussing Jeff's various live stream shows on his YouTube channel, as well as his Breaking Bates podcast, so
Please
stay tuned.
Clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA, gateway to the 7 theme lands of the Magic Kingdom.
Hi gang, it's me Tinkerbell, and I'm back from Neverland. I'm ready to listen to my favorite Disney podcast, and I would love you to join me. So grab your mouse ears and meet me down at the end of Main Street, under Cinderella's castle, for the Magic of the Mouse podcast, with your hosts Bill Guerrero and Bill Guerrero Jr. See you there.
Well, welcome back to the Magic of the Mouse podcast. I'm your host, Bill Guerrero Sr., along with my son, coming to us from Fort Hood in Texas, Bill Jr.
Thanks for joining us again, everyone. Welcome back.
And also again this week, our partner in crime here is our co-host, Tom Whitland.
Welcome back, everybody.
And joining us this week, we have a special guest, a longtime Disney fan, Kurt Hackney.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here with these guys.
All right, this week, Bill has some news for us he wants to start the show off with. Go ahead, Bill.
So the first thing I want to talk about this week is the 4th International Epcot Festival of the Arts opened Friday, January 17th. You can step inside life-size frames of Van Gogh's famous Cafe Terrace at night, or sunflowers paintings for a photo op. Taste culinary wonders at the 12 festival food studios presenting artful dishes and drinks. You can even watch artists at work and enjoy a complimentary performance of the Disney on Broadway concert series. Other fun activities include Figment's Brush with the Master scavenger hunt, Animation Academy at American Gardens Theater, and the Expression section Paint by Numbers wall mural in Future World. You can also interact with the Epcot Living Statues in Future World East and watch a live performance by the Art-Defying Gravity Troupe at the World Showcase Plaza stage. The Disney on Broadway concert series lineup is full of talent this year. The schedule is as follows. January 17th, 20th, 21st, and 24th, Kissy Simmons and Alton Fitzgerald White from The Lion King are performing. And on January 18th, 19th, 22nd, and 23rd, Heidi Blickenstaff from The Little Mermaid and Gavin Lee from Mary Poppins perform. And January 25th, special performance featuring Simmons, White, Blickenstaff, and Lee. January 26th, 28th, 29th, February 1st, 2nd, and 5th, and 6th, Carol Lindsay from Muses and Kevin Massey from Tarzan perform. February 9th is a special performance by Lindsay, Massey, Hunt, and Jacobs. February 10th, 12th, 13th, 18th, 19th, 22nd, and 23rd, Ashley Brown from Mary Poppins and Josh Strickland from Tarzan are performing. February 11th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 20th, and 21st, Sydney Winters from The Lion King and Michael James Scott from Aladdin perform. And then February 24th is another special performance by Brown, Strickland, Winters, and Scott. The best way to ensure your seat for a performance is to reserve a Disney on Broadway dining package, which guarantees seating for one show on the day of your dining. For more information on these packages, you can visit artfulepcot.com or call 407-WDW-FEST to make a reservation. And then for more information about the Festival of the Arts in Epcot, check out our Facebook page. All right, the second thing I had is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance is now open inside Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, California. Having already released at Hollywood Studios in Orlando, it's no surprise that California's attraction reached daily capacity within minutes of it opening. A sign telling visitors that all boarding groups for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance have been distributed for the day. It was put up almost immediately after guests were allowed in the park. This was due to the fact that Disneyland expected a huge turnout and required all visitors to use a virtual queuing system that distributed reservation numbers via the park's smartphone app starting at the official opening time of 8 a.m. But demand for a boarding group was so high that some that opened the app, even at 8 o'clock on the dot, still couldn't get a spot on the ride. And with the attraction still being very new, there were some kinks that needed to be worked out, of course. On the 19th, the ride was experiencing issues. It shut down the ride from around 11 to 2 p.m. The ride is supposed to guarantee 82 boarding groups. And at the time of the delay, they had only boarded groups 28 and 29. Guests that were assigned backup groups were notified around the time that the ride reopened, that their groups wouldn't be accommodated. So basically how the virtual queuing system works with Rise of Resistance is they guarantee 82 groups of 8 riders a spot for the day. After those slots are full, they start assigning guests a backup group that may not necessarily ride that day. A lot of people were obviously upset about this. I would be too, especially if my only reason for visiting the park that day was to go on that specific ride. But like with anything new and untested, there's going to be flaws and kinks, and you can expect these problems with the Rise of Resistance to be worked out fairly shortly. I know this is like a brand new attraction for Disney. It's something they've never done before. In fact, something nobody's ever done before, so there's obviously going to be problems starting out. The next thing I want to talk about is Disney's California Adventure opened their newest festival for the Lunar New Year that started Wednesday the 17th of January through February 9th, with January 25th officially kicking off the Year of the Rat. There's no way that the parks could pass up having a huge Year of the Mouse celebration. They're calling it a multicultural celebration filled with auspicious wishes for health, luck, and prosperity throughout the new year. Naturally, with it being a Chinese holiday festival, they will incorporate Disney Princess Mulan and make her the centerpiece of the Lunar New Year procession. But they didn't want to just make it solely focused on Chinese culture. They also are paying tribute to Vietnamese and Korean culture and traditions as well, hence multicultural celebration. Event highlights include Mulan's Lunar New Year procession, as I mentioned before, live holiday entertainment around the park, Hurry Home Lunar New Year celebration, the Sip and Savor Pass with festival marketplaces, Mickey and Minnie along with other Disney characters making appearances in festive attire, new innovative menus celebrating Asian cuisine, new commemorative merchandise, and kid-friendly crafts and activities throughout the park. So far, the pictures coming out of the festival of the food and decorations look incredible. Some of the food and drinks I'd really like to try, like the Firecracker 3-cup chicken wings tossed in spicy red chili pepper sauce. That sounds great. And the Vietnamese cold brew coffee that they have at Longevity Noodle Co. food stand. I'm not a huge fan of trying new things, but my time spent in the Army has got me a little more accustomed to trying new foods and different drinks. So this is something I definitely want to check out if I was able to go over to California right now. And if you're in the area, go and check this out at California Adventure. The final thing I want to go over is Fantasmic, the nighttime show at Hollywood Studios, will not have any showings on January 22nd. They didn't give a specific reason, but it should give Disney cast members enough time to do any necessary refurbishments on the show that they're not able to conduct during the park's after-hours regular maintenance schedule. Construction on the area behind Fantasmic has been ongoing for a while, so it's kind of assumed that this was going to happen sooner or later. Fantasmic is, however, expected to be back in operation on Thursday, January 23rd.
Okay, we have a special guest this week, Jeff Bates from YouTube. Dole Whip Dad is his name on YouTube channel, and he has a couple live shows each week that he does. He does a show on Sunday night, Distube, where he interviews other Disney creators each week. And that's one of his shows that I'm addicted to, and I watch that pretty regularly every Sunday night. And then he follows up that show on Sunday nights at 10:30 Eastern Time. It's a show called Creator Talk with his co-host, Lynn, from the Lynn Project. She's got a good channel of her own. She does a lot of Disney vlogs from the parks. And she goes in and does a lot of shows from the Disney warehouse, the outlet stores down near where she lives in Florida. So that's another channel that you can check out. And also another show that Jeff has. He's got a show on Friday nights that he just started a few weeks ago, and it's called Disney Pins Live, and he does that show with Kelly from the Mickey Bunch on YouTube. So he keeps himself pretty busy, and then to throw another one into the mix, he does a show on Saturday mornings with his wife called Beauty and the Beast, where they pretty much talk about anything Disney that's come to him that week. So he keeps himself pretty busy, and we'd like to introduce him to you now. And Jeff Bates, Dole Whip Dad. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on the show. This is fun. Yeah, you made me sound like I'm busy. I need a break right now.
I don't know, is it a good thing with your wife or a bad thing? She probably doesn't see you much. Maybe you're out of her hair. She likes it.
You know, in our real life, which I always think is funny to say because it's all real life, but in our real life, we work together. So yeah, she gets her fair share of me, and I'm probably she probably needs a break from me way more than I need a break from her.
Okay, so maybe she's the one pushing you to do a few more shows each week then.
Yeah, when I close the door, they're like, okay, thank goodness, get out of here. Right. So yeah, it's all good. We see a lot of each other, and I'm blessed. I'm a lucky guy.
Well, I got hooked on your show. I guess, Jeff, it's probably been about 2 months ago. I started my channel and this podcast that we do each week. As you know, I told you my son lives down in Temple, Texas, and is in the Army. And 2 or out of the last 3 or 4 years, he was in Iraq. So I haven't had a chance to see him much. So this is a way for us to get together every 2 weeks and, BS about Disney. And same thing with my cousin Tom here and a lifelong friend of mine, Kurt. We've all been Disney nuts our whole life. And
I love it.
This is just a way for, especially for me and my son, we get together every 2 weeks for about 2 or 3 hours recording the show. So that was my reasoning to get into this. How did you get into the whole YouTube thing? Were you just watching one day and you said, hey, I can do this?
Yeah, well, basically, I obviously have been a lifelong Disney fan and, is what it is, which isn't very good. And so I didn't have a lot of free time, but my sit on the couch, relax, forget about work time, getting a little old with the TV thing. So I started moving over to YouTube and I was really enjoying the content, the Disney YouTubers that we all know. But it was mostly non-Disney YouTube that I really got into. And yeah, as it relates to starting my own channel, just decided I moved from California to Texas. Well, it's been about a decade, I guess 9 years ago. And so a lot of my friends are out in California. So, my buddies that I'm going to talk sports with or that I was going to talk Disney with or whatever, you can call them on the phone, but it's just different. And so I honestly don't know if I know why I started the channel, but I can tell you why I started watching. I like it better. I like the Disney YouTube community. I like seeing live streams from the park. I'd rather watch news about Disney than news about, the planet. And it's just kind of it's more fun than real life, right?
How long ago did you start your YouTube channel? What, a couple years now?
Yeah, I would say, so last year I decided, I would say last September, October, no, not last year, the year before last, so 2018, September, October is when I decided, hey, let's actually try to do this. The channel probably started before that, but the first video I made for the Dole Whip Dad channel, we were actually at the All-Star Movie Resort with the kiddos. Our first trip down to Walt Disney World. I've been a lifelong Disneyland guy, but we moved here, so then we went out to Disney World. And the first video that I posted was me and my kids pin trading in the, what is it? The little store they have there, a little knick-knack store that each little resort has. And we enjoyed pin trading every morning and every afternoon we came back from the parks and liked it so much. We did a little video and I think I titled it something like how to pin trade with staff members. And yeah, it went from there. I liked it. It went from there.
After you started, I'm sure you started uploading a few videos here and there. When did you come up with the idea to start your live streams?
Funny you ask that. So at first I thought live streams were weird. I was clearly in the wrong live stream, but like everybody on YouTube who's trying to get monetized in the beginning, you try to get to 1,000 subscribers, you're going to try to get to 4,000 watch hours or whatever it is. And the watch hours of a live stream are just it's a lot easier to get the numbers, let's put it that way. And so I was trying to figure out how can I do what I'm doing and enjoy it and make it fun for me and make it fun for people in this thing, live streaming, that I didn't really like that much. And so I thought, let's try this Disney trivia thing. So the end of 2018, I started a once a week Disney trivia show and it went well. I really had fun doing it. People seemed to like it. And it really allowed me to connect on a different level than the videos. Like you're creating a video and it's fun and you can get the comments or whatever, however you can get your reactions. But in a live stream, it's live. They can actually say, hey, you look ridiculous. Hey, that was dumb. Or, hey, I like that. You really get the instant feedback in addition to the comments. And so once I did that a couple times, I knew that the trivia thing wasn't where I was going to continue it going, but it really started off with how do I get watch hours? And then I really liked it. And so I did the show Distube. And because I didn't hate that and it went well, I thought, well, let's do a couple more shows. I mean, I do my shows late at night. I get some people saying, why are you doing it then? Well, because real life, it is what it is. You got to go to work. You got to do those things. But it was I guess what I'm trying to say, it was kind of accidental. I didn't think it was something I was going to like. And I really do. It really allows you to build a community and connect with your listeners and your viewers in a way that's kind of spectacular.
All right, I want to talk a little, Jeff, about the show that I'm hooked on. Actually, I watch both shows on Sunday night, Creator Talk and Distube. But I really like the Distube because you talk to other Disney creators like yourself. And this past week was an awesome one. I think that was probably your biggest attendance or amount of people you had in the channel chatting and watching. I believe it got up to around 350 or 365 people. And you had Josh and Jenna from Resort TV 1. Tell us a little more about the Distube.
So you said it. Yeah, Distube was my attempt to meet for myself and then to share out other Disney creators. So like I said, I had this trivia show and I didn't really, I liked it, but I knew that wasn't where I was going to go. And I was trying to think of, what could be my niche, what could be my thing. And I knew that I loved it when I found a new Disney creator. If I found a new channel or a new podcast or whatever, it was an exciting thing for me. It's what I wanted to do. And so then I thought, well, I can use that. How do I can go find them and get them on my show. And in the beginning, it was rough because, proof of concept is a hard thing to show. If I asked Josh and Jenna with 80,000 subscribers a year ago, they didn't know who I was. It probably wouldn't have happened, right? Hey, who's this guy? So the initial part of getting people to buy into it, I thought it was going to be harder, to be honest. And people seem to like it. I think that, when you're creating it, just like you guys are doing, you've got a podcast, or when you're creating a channel or all of it, people like to know that they get noticed. I mean, you're creating it so it's consumed, right? And so when somebody asks you, hey, I want to interview you, usually people are going to react with, really? That's awesome. And so I've been blessed. People wanted to come on the show, and it's been good. And yeah, Resort TV 1 this past weekend was, clearly my most viewed Distube show. And it was great. They're a great, great show. If you don't know their channel, check them out. Resort TV 1's the best. I've been lucky to have a little piece of being on their team, and it's, I just feel blessed. I love them and I love what we're doing. And Distube's been a lot of fun. I originally thought I would do it for a year and then move on to something else, but I don't want to stop.
Yeah, I think you have a winner in that show. I mean, just from the people that you had on, and a couple people that you've had on your show already, Resort TV 1 and then Prince Charming Dev, they were like two of the first channels that I found. I really got into watching YouTube back late July of 2019, and they were one of the first two channels that I found, and I really enjoyed them. And somehow I stumbled onto your channel, I guess because of an ad that popped up that they were going to be on your show, Prince Charming Dev, a while ago. And I watched him. I love his channel, what he does. I always say when I watch these channels, yeah, they seem like a nice person, or they seem like a cool guy or woman. I judge it by, I wouldn't mind having a beer with them and talking Disney,
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how I judge. And I know it's a little weird, but that's me.
No, I think that totally makes sense.
I'm from New Jersey. What can I tell you? But yeah, Prince Charming Dev, he's great. And Resort TV 1. Another one, I don't believe you've had him on your channel yet, and I don't know if you've watched him or not. You might have. Braden from Mickey Views.
I don't know them. I know of what they do, and I'd love to have them on, yeah, but I haven't been lucky enough to meet him yet.
I don't know if you watch his channel at all. That kid just amazes me what he does. The kid missed his calling. I don't think he's old enough to drink yet, and he just moved down to Florida, and his channel is awesome. So there might be one that you might want to get in contact with. What a great kid.
Love that.
As far as your Distube channel, you got anything planned that you'd like to tell us in the next coming week? Any guests that you have coming on?
Sure, yeah. So I've got Lake Buena visitors coming up here. The first Sunday in February was planned, but we just rescheduled it because it's the Super Bowl. And so we both think that's probably not a great day. And the reason I mentioned them is they're an Etsy shop. And so I want to expand my show. Obviously, YouTube creators are kind of where I'm, focused, but there's other creators out there. There's Instagrammers, there's great Etsy shop. I've actually reached out to people who used to work for Disney. There's some artists that I want to get on. And so I'm trying to expand that. But yeah, I've got Attractions Magazine and Corey Meets World and Disney Princess Couture all coming in February. So lots of really neat channels. It's really neat. One of my favorite, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but when I sent out those original, hey, I've got this show idea, would you come on? I had no idea how they'd react. And since it's been going well, it's gratifying. People are like, oh, are you serious? I'd love to be on. And it feels good. And I don't think I'm answering your question, but I feel just lucky to be able to have something that people want to be on. And, when you spend an hour talking to someone, whether there's one person listening, nobody listening, or 150 people listening, you really get to know somebody and why they do what they do and why they love it. I mean, we're talking about Disney. It's something that I love and they love. So it's easy to get along usually. And it's been good.
Well, one of the guests that you just announced there, Corey Meets World, that's another channel that I got hooked on a little bit after I started watching YouTube. What a nice guy and his wife. Yeah. What a really nice couple. And the live streams that they do are really good.
Yeah, Corey's great. I'm so excited to have him on again. That's February 16th. And just a great channel and great guy. It's funny, like early on, I felt like I was telling people, hey, here's this channel, go check it out. And like with Resort TV 1 and obviously with Corey coming up and some, Dev and some others, I'm like, hey, everybody, I know you already know them, but and so it's a little different interview style for me on that. I try to ask them questions that maybe the whole world doesn't already know. And with Corey, it'll be, hey, you already know him, let's dig a little deeper and see what you don't know about him. But I love that guy. He's just got a great show. Hey, if I choose to spend my time watching their show, I mean, everybody only has so much time to spend on that. Tells you, and we all do it. It tells you how much we already like them, but we don't really get to know them too well. And so anyway, I hope the interview show helps with that.
Out of the people that you've had on your show so far, have you met any of them in person?
Oh, yeah, sure. So for the Galaxy's Edge opening, oh my gosh, it was so, like, just to be there when Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opened was something that I thought would be, enough to be one of the best days ever. But it's not even the best part of that trip. So I went down and hung out with Miguel Gonzalez, Mr. Gonzo PR, or Adventures of Gonzo now. And that weekend, we met so many people. I mean, that was when I first met Resort TV1 in person. All the guys from this and that, Steve and Dave and Zip and Chef, and they're just such great guys. And then Kelly from Myers and the Mouse and the whole family, they were down there. And I mean, I'm almost afraid to leave out the names. I did one of my videos on my channel is the Beverly Challenge. And the Beverly Challenge is the thing that the This and That group did. They were raising money and they did the Beverly Challenge. I don't know if you've had that, Beverly, but that's pretty disgusting stuff. And so they heard that there was a record to break, and Steve might be one of the only people that's almost as competitive as me. And he kind of came up with the idea to do this thing. And it was going to be the 4 of them. And it turned into 8, and then it turned into 15. And, then Donna Jaworski was in, and Corey Meets World was in. And, I got to meet Jim from More Sunshine, Please. And I mean, honestly, there'll be more names that I can even remember. It was everybody and anybody. Dev was down there, and it was a blessing. It was the best couple of hours on top of a trip that was already amazing. I mean, I spent 4 days with some good friends in the park. It was Galaxy's Edge grand opening, and the highlight was meeting all those, those Disney YouTubers. It's weird. Like, you watch them on your TV, you watch them on your iPhone, you watch them on your laptop, and then you meet them and, share a Beverly with them. It's pretty amazing stuff. So yeah, I've been lucky with that, and I can't wait to do it. It's weird how something you love so much going down to Disney is so awesome that it becomes better. And it is better now that we're in this little community, because it's neat to go down there and be recognized and to bump into people you like. I mean, I got to bump into Michael and David Kay down there. I got to meet Tim and Jen, Tim Trax. I mean, I don't know these people, but just seeing them and getting a picture with them, pretty neat stuff.
Well, I guess you probably become pretty good friends after drinking Beverly.
Stuff's pretty disgusting. I gotta be honest. I would mostly let them drink it.
that was probably one of the worst things I think I've ever had in my life.
And what is that now?
In the what was the name of that? Where it was in the
Club Cool.
Club Cool.
Oh, the sodas. Oh,
it's the I guess it's the Italian one, and it's
like vegetables in it or something. It's like the vegetable juice or vegetable drink.
So I'll be honest with you. I chew pills. Okay, so I don't have problem with taste very often. Bitter doesn't generally bug me. I chew my pills, and this stuff is disgusting. So I don't know. When people say they like it, I generally know that they're lying.
Yeah, I don't know if they plan on bringing that back or not. I know they just
do.
They are going to bring it back, the Club Cool?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of details, but I've heard from a bunch of people that they well, I guess it's they have it there at the Disney Springs Coca-Cola. I thought you were talking about bringing back the Beverly specifically, and they've got it down there at the Coca-Cola shop or store or company store, or whatever they call that down in Disney Springs. As it relates to Club Cool, I'm really not sure. I don't know.
Okay, you mean right there across from where the chicken guy in Planet Hollywood is?
Yeah, I think that's where it is. Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Now, I didn't know if they were going to bring back Club Cool and Epcot. I know that place is it's like a war zone now. There's walls up everywhere. And
yeah, I haven't been back since they put up all the walls at Walcott, but I'm anxious to see all the changes they're making. I love World Showcase is my jam. I love it. So I can't wait to see what they're doing there. But apparently all the walls. Well, I'll be there in February, so I guess I get to see all the walls here pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just going to miss you. I'm going down this Sunday. And I'm going to be there this Sunday through next Thursday. The main reason I'm going to go down is taking video. I was down in November and took like 3 terabytes of video when I was down there, and I'm kind of out of it already. So I'm going down mainly to take more video for the YouTube channel that we've started. And
that's awesome. Yeah, I hear that January and February is like the best time to go because it's not 150,000 degrees and 100% humidity. So I'm looking forward to it.
See, I'm one of the weird people. I like that. And my wife tells me it's because I'm getting ready for where I'm going when I pass away.
Ouch.
I was just down there last week, and it was dead. There was nobody there. I mean, it was the World Showcase. You could have had any pick along the railing around the lagoon to watch fireworks. Wow. Anywhere. It was empty. Even Magic Kingdom was empty. You said you're going down in February. When in February? Because I'm actually moving down there next week.
Nice. My mom's birthday is February 18th, so we're going to be at the Festival of the Arts, our first time ever at the Festival of the Arts for that for Mom's birthday.
Well, mine's the 15th, so that works out pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you have kids, obviously, correct?
13, 14, 17. Yeah, I got 4 daughters. So
wow, that would have been me. I have 2. I have 2. Well, they're 21 and 23. Now, do they listen to your podcast and everything, or?
Unlikely. So I have 4. 2 are married and moved away making grandbabies for me. We got 1 actually here and 2 on the way in May. So that's fun. And then I got 2 who's still at the house. Reagan is my youngest, 15. She really likes it. She's got her own channel.
Oh, wow.
and she really, really likes it. But, you know, she's really excited about doing a Star Wars-based podcast. So we'll be doing a little bit more of that this year. Peyton loves the idea. She has her own channel too, but has posted like 5 videos ever. No, she does not listen. And then my older daughters, my oldest, Brittany, absolutely not. 100% no. She loves Disney, but she doesn't think anyone listens to my stuff or watches my stuff, and is always shocked when I listen to her sisters or her mother tell her, you know, hey, people actually listen to your dad stuff. And then Samantha, actually, she married a gentleman named Ryan Land. They have a channel now called the Disneylands that they post once every decade or so. But their name is the Disneyland, and I hate them for having the perfect name. I mean, it's the perfect name. Yeah. But they listen on occasion. So that was a really long way to say, no, not really. Samantha and Ryan do a little bit. The rest of them, it's just dad being weird, you know?
Do they all live in Texas, or is it just you and your wife there now, or they all live there?
No, we're all here. So we've got the two of us, 2 daughters are still in the house, and the other 2 are both within 15 to 30 minutes of us, depending on the time of day and the traffic.
All right, Jeff, I want to move on to your other show that you have on Sunday night with Lynn from the Lynn Project. How did that come about with you and Lynn teaming up for that?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking about that one. So honestly, it came about because of COPPA, the Child Online Privacy Protection Act. Boy, that was the clickbaitiest of clickbait stuff for a while there. A tour, I don't know what, October, November, I'm not really remembering when. I feel like it was a very like Y2K. All of the YouTube world was flipping their lid over a law. And they thought some idiot got a clip of a guy from the FCC saying some things. They took it out of context, and everybody decided, well, you know, we better quit our channel and delete everything because he said, this idiot, the FCC says he's going to fine us all $42,000, and it was stupid, and it annoyed me. And I was watching some channels that I really like, and then some people that I really don't like, posting these videos and getting all these views, basically saying the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And after about a week or so of it, it made me, I am not one to see, you know, a dark cloud is going to end my life. I'm pretty sure every storm that's come also leaves, and I'm just not the world's coming to an end kind of guy. But it just wouldn't go away, and the videos were getting bigger, and people were asking. I mean, friends of mine, people that we've already mentioned, you know, in the Disney community, were freaking out, and plenty of people that I didn't know about and frankly care about were freaking out. And so I just reached out, and I made some calls. Took a while, but I got to somebody at the FTC, and I actually got to somebody at the Attorney General's office in New York, who was the one that brought the suit that had the fines originally. And I just had some questions for him, and I was right. It was a big nothing burger, and I told some friends about it, and they asked me to do a video, and I said no. I'll come off as a jerk, like I may have already come off talking about it. I'll just tell everybody, hey, you're stupid, stop being stupid. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And all of a sudden, my Instagram and my Twitter and my texts were getting full every day of people that I really like, really think well of, freaking out. And so one night I made a video, and I felt like it was kind of a rant, and I'm not a ranty kind of guy. And it went very, very well. For my channel, it went exceptionally well. And then people were coming to me about more questions about this and that. And I've always liked the YouTube growth channel. So, and I'm not talking about those sub for sub things. I don't get that at all. But like the Nick Nimmons, the Roberto Blakes, the Sean Kennels, the people like that, you know, Daryl Eves, those guys who are teaching creators how to create on YouTube and other places. Well, A, I like them because I want to learn, but B, they're highly successful, right? I mean, there is now and never will be an end to new people coming on YouTube wanting to learn. So it's a great niche if you want to grow, right? The whole world's coming to the platform. That's never going to end. And so there was nothing like that there still is nothing like that in the Disney community, at least that's that I found. Like people who are coming to our Creator Talk show, I always get amazing feedback after that show. And it's usually people thanking us, Lynn and I, for telling them stuff, A, they didn't know, or B, they were afraid to ask. I don't get the afraid to ask part, but I'm happy to. And it's not like I know anything, right? Like I can curate information just like anybody can, right? Like it's even when I used to do a Disney news and stuff, not unlike what you guys do on your show. And for a while I felt bad because it's just, you know, I'm in Texas, you know, anybody can get the info. But like, for instance, right now, I don't know when people are going to list podcasts, so it might be out of the timeline, but a gentleman pulled, you know, Excalibur's sword out of the stone in Disneyland. And when I heard about it, I thought, well, that could be my video for the night. And I didn't get to it because I got busy. And here we are a week later. And I mentioned it last night to Lynn after our show. And she said, oh my gosh, I didn't know about it. We had like a 5-minute talk. And then she was begging me to make the video. So it's really just content curation as it relates to how to create on YouTube, how to create on podcasts. The questions that I was getting after the COPPA video we're kind of the first 6 months worth of a weekly content calendar. And so we just decided to do it. Lynn was asking me a bunch of questions and we just said, hey, make this a show. And Deb came on the first week and, we had Josh on there for a little bit. And it's definitely stuff that people like me and people like you guys enjoy. We want to get better, right? When we're offline, I'm guaranteeing I'm going to talk to you guys about your audio stuff, what you're doing with your podcast. It sounds awesome. I love it. I want to learn that stuff. So it's just that kind of thing, sharing what we know and getting the community together to help each other grow. It's kind of fun. I like it.
Yeah, one of the ones you mentioned there, Sean Cannell. I watch his channel a lot and definitely learned a lot from him when I first got started and decided I want to do this, and a couple other people on there. And that's how I wound up getting the board that we use for our podcast, the Rode Podcaster board, which was the best money I ever spent because it's an all-in-one. You plug in and you're good to go. And usually the audio comes out really good from it. Just where we record our podcast from is a little iffy at times here, but
I've listened to your podcast. I don't know how many episodes I've listened to, but your intro catches us instantly. Me, it sounds so pro. I'll just say it. It sounds pro.
Yeah, that took me a while to do. That probably took me about a month to do. And it's weird. I've got a couple emails that it's like, what is the opening? Because it starts out with a song in the background. And that's actually the U.S. Army Band. Great New Beginnings is the name of the song. And I figured that would be cool. I put that in there for my son since he's in the Army.
I love that.
That was a good way to open up with that. But we probably messed around with that for a while until we got it to where we wanted it. Now I just have it saved as a template and I just add the voiceover, what's coming up each week on top of it.
Yeah, I love that. And to talk about Creator Talk and to talk about what you just said. So you have that skill. You know how to do that. You've done it. You worked, would you say, a couple months to get it. You know what tech software you need, what hardware you need, and how to make it work. I don't. And that's the idea of Creator Talk, right? Get people who know how to do something that other people want to do. I mean, I love podcasts. I'm just diving into it myself. And so to get you to tell me how to do that is so much more effective and frankly more fun. Come on, I can YouTube it. There's nothing today that we can't learn, right? Everything is available, which is beautiful. But I'd much rather ask my friend or, doesn't that make sense? I hope it makes sense. And we learn better from people we like. I think that's clear. And I want to learn it. I want to learn more. There's a million things I want to learn. Like Saturday morning when my shows are over, I pop on, after my Beauty and the Beast with my wife, I pop on 2 of my friends' live streams. And I also put on Nick Nimmin. Nick Nimmin teaches me stuff every Saturday in his live stream. And then there's the, Cannell, whatever, the Think Media people. I love them. And then, there's so many. Daryl Eves doing, the Vid Summit guy. There's so many people out there who are frankly making a living off of helping people like us share our story. It's a pretty cool virtuous circle if you ask me.
It was a little slow for me when I started. I'm not sure if you know, and I'm a retired police officer, and I was involved in an auto accident I guess it's been 21 years ago now. And wow. I had to have surgeries, and I wasn't able to go back. And so after that, I taught myself photography, and I wound up becoming a professional sports photographer for about 9 or 10 years. So I know Photoshop when it comes to YouTube, making the thumbnails and all that. I know Photoshop, inside and out. But I have the Adobe suite, so I used Audition for editing the podcast, and then Premiere Pro. And I was clueless when we started. And I would have my laptop when I was trying to do things. I'd have my mouse in one hand and my iPad in the other. So if I couldn't figure something out, you go on Google and you Google it. Either the answer comes up or a video will come up on YouTube. And like you said, I swear you could learn how to do open heart surgery on YouTube.
Absolutely. I hope my surgeon didn't learn there, but if I need to learn how, that's where I'm going to go. And it's beautiful, right? Don't we live in the best time ever? And I don't want to know everything, but I do like this content creation thing. I like having a YouTube channel. I like doing the live streams. I like the podcasting thing. I would love to learn photography someday. I might need to hit you up on that too. It's just like with your entertainment. Like we were talking about watching, I think we were talking about Corey Meets World at the time. If you spend your free time watching a channel, I spend an hour or 3 every week on Resort TV 1 and who knows how many hours on other channels. It's kind of a gift you're giving them, right? It's your time. Well, it's the same with learning stuff. I want to learn photography, but right now I need to learn thumbnails to talk about what you just talked about. My thumbnails stink. And I think it's fun. Like you're always getting better and doing what we're doing, podcasting and live streams and videos. It's never going to stop, right? There's always going to be something new, how to get better, how to get more views, how to connect with your listeners, your viewers. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last night in the chat of your Distube show. The videos, I've started, picking things up, and I won't say my videos are good by any means, but they've gotten a little bit better. And the one guy, his videos just blow my mind when I watch them. I don't know if he did it for a living, as a graphic artist, or what, was the Orlando guy. His videos,
isn't he great?
Every time I watch his videos, just blows my mind with the creativity and it's like so pro. It's like not even funny.
Totally. I'm a big fan of his. He's a really nice guy. And I'll say it right now. I've said it before on my streams to him and about him when he wasn't there. We're all going to say we knew him when, because that guy's going to blow up. He does well. His thumbnails are great. His avatar or logo or whatever is great. And he sounds like he's been doing it for 1,000 years. And I can't wait to be as good as him.
Yeah, I know that.
Awesome.
That threw us a little off topic here, but I just popped in my head there because I know we talked about it last night and figured I'd give him a shout out, because if anybody wants to see some outstanding videos, do yourself a favor and go watch his channel, The Orlando Guy.
Totally agree. Great stuff. He did a video about a museum that I couldn't care less about, but he was doing it so good that I watched it all the way to the end and I watched it again. It was great.
I mean, not only is his cinematography or his video taking excellent, he has, from the camera, from his drone. I mean, everything is so smooth and so well put together. Anyway,
I totally agree.
Throw us a little off topic there, but I figured that popped in my head. I had to get that out because he actually helped me because I was clueless. And one night on one of your streams, I put a thing in there that, I'm clueless. And he suggested this book. And off the top of my head, I forget what it is right now because it's at home. And but it was a 2019 book on pretty much everything Premiere Pro. And that's helped me out a little bit. And After Effects, that's another program that I use for the first time. I just made an intro that we're going to play on all our movies from now on. It's kind of a little knockoff when you go to a Disney movie, when you see the castle, and
love it.
It's going to be a little bit like that. But that took me for a 17-second video to make in After Effects and then render it out to use in Premiere Pro. It took me a week and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. For 17 seconds.
But it's worth, now you have it, and now you know how to do it. Now, I mean, the next one you do won't take that long, right? I mean, that's the thing. Everything that you want to learn is right on the other side of stuff. You got to be okay at being bad at stuff. I mean, we talked about Sean from Think Media. I don't know if you've watched his first video, but he plays it proudly when he does, speeches or webinars or whatever. It's horrible. And I love that he leaves it up there. I mean, he actually says in his first video, hey, I'm not going to be high energy. And I mean, he's basically saying, hey, go away, watch another video. But now he's got a multi-million-dollar company that he's running, producing video. And I think you've got to be willing to be bad. That's the whole, they talk about the cost of entry for things. The cost of entry is just being okay with somebody saying that's no good. And first of all, who are these people that are saying it's no good and who cares, right? We're afraid that our friends from high school that we haven't talked to in 30 years are going to see it. Heck no. I hope they see it and they share it with all their friends. They can laugh all they want. Watch the dang thing. Maybe I'll get a fan out of it. So I love that you said that on your show, you met the Orlando guy and he helped you. And now what you're doing, you're having more fun with, or it's better, or whatever the right way to say it is. That kind of stuff makes my day.
Jeff, I'm going to jump in there just briefly, and I'm impressed with all you guys with this stuff. I mean, I'm learning through Bill with all the YouTube and the podcast and everything. It's amazing the time and how much better you guys get and all the networking, what you're talking about, all these guys you're networking with and learning. It's great. But like I said, I'm in the infancy stages here, and Bill has impressed the heck out of me with all the stuff he's learned. I mean, I've been an electronics guy, and he's just surpassed me with all this stuff and really doing a great job. And my hat's off to you, too. I'm going to make myself more online with watching a lot of the YouTube videos and everything, but I want to check the stuff out. But getting back to Disney and stuff, I'm impressed. Like, I love going down there. I mean, I only have one daughter, my daughter Mackenzie. We haven't been down there for about 3 years, but we're in the stages of planning a trip now. And like you said, it's all about enjoying everything down there.
Amen. I love it.
Yeah, if I talk too much, just jump in. That's okay. Bill can.
Not at all.
We're in trouble here. We get you and Kirk going here. We'll, me and Tom can step out, go have a few beers, and we'll be back in a couple hours.
That's all right. Yeah, hey, just feel free.
I'm having fun. So.
Yeah, this is great stuff. I'm trying to think where else we can go. Like, are you into the cruising at all, Jeff? Have you done that, the Disney Cruise Line?
I have not, and I'm fighting with all my might against it. And there's really two reasons for that. One, I only have as many dollars as I have, and I'm trying to do all these other things, and it's expensive. Number two, and I tell this joke, and I've got some friends who are in the cruise world, so if they're listening, they're going to get mad at me. And they already know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. It looks a lot like going to the mall, but I can't leave. So I'm not sure I'm ready for a cruise. My wife did a few cruises before we were married, and she's trying really hard to get me to do it. I don't know. Disney's expensive to start off, and they put it on a boat, and it sounds more expensive to me.
Well, here's what I suggest. I love it. I mean, in some respects, I even like going on the cruise more than a park. I don't want to say that because that's not true, but
the first person to say that to me. I don't understand that. And they all say what you're about to say. Tell me if I'm wrong. But once I do it, I'm going to love it. That doesn't make me want to do it. That makes me not want to do it because I don't have enough money for what I want to do now.
Well, that's true. That's true. But if you do it, Jeff, do 4-day, 3-night. Don't do the 7-day right off the bat because, you know, if you don't like it, you don't want to get stuck on something that, you know, but I'll tell you what, I did it the once. My wife, we love it. I mean, we got gold membership status there now. Haven't been on all the ships, but I couldn't have a better time. You can be as busy or as lazy as you want to be. You got the pools. They have so many things there to do. I mean, the excursions. When we go to the Castaway Cay, you get the wave runners. You got the beach. You could just do. I don't want to take nothing away from the park because I do love the park too. But the cruising, you just got to try it. One of my best buddies is like you are. He says, well, I don't know. But if you try it, you're going to like it. If the wife pushes you enough, you'll get the urge to go.
She's trying very hard. Well, we're in 2020 now, so I guess it was early 2019. The 2020 trip was going to be a cruise, and now she's thinking, okay, maybe we'll do a 2021 trip. And I just keep, I don't doubt that I'll love it. I love what I'm doing right now. Like, there's so many things I want to do that are Disney, and then there's all the things I want to do that aren't Disney. And would I like to see Castaway Cay? I would, but I don't know. Like, I've got friends in the world. Like, Alana Zingano's a good friend. She lives local. We're buddies. She's got an all cruising all the time channel. She used to be Disney and travel. Now she just cruises. I mean, I think she cruises 12 days a week. I don't know if that math works, but she's always doing something awesome. And her channel's blown up. And Raphael, her husband, are trying to get me to go. And then Sherry from Awesome Sunset Travels is trying to get me to do something. And I have no doubt I will. I don't know where it's going to fit in the calendar or the bank account, but it'll happen at some point.
That's all right. I don't want to burn up too much with a cruiser, but it's good to go with more than two people. I find that you go with a family, you take like at least a family of 4 or a party. You get like maybe 2 or 3 couples go. You seem to enjoy it more because there's just a lot to do on there.
Everybody who tells me this says there's so much to do. And I guess that's what beats in my head. It's just, I don't know. Like, I guess it's one of the things that once you go, you're going to love, but I haven't done it yet. But my wife wants us to go really bad. I mean, I joked about how hard I was pushing against it, but mostly it's just her pushing hard to go do it. So I'm sure at some point we'll do it. And hey, it'll be a good vlog. Sherry's trying to get me to do a Disney vlogger trip. And so I haven't said no to it, but I haven't said yes to it.
That's all right. Well, if it happens, it happens. Now, you got something on me. I've never been to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World. But I'd like to go out there at some point.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I'm from Southern California, so that's my home park, and we used to go more than our fair share. And it's where Walt walked. It's pretty cool.
Everybody says, it's like in the middle of a city, and now it's well, back in the day when it first opened up, it was a lot more, I guess, spacious, but now it's like everybody's built around it so much, it's like kind of enclosed in there, but I still like to go.
Very true. Yeah, it's pretty cool. My grandfather actually he painted on Main Street and in the Jungle Cruise in 54. The place opened in 55. So he started working for Disney pre it opening because they just lived in the area. And so we've been, Disney people since before Disneyland opened. And
oh, that's cool.
It really is. Well, it's the home.
Wow, that's pretty neat. All right, I'm not going to hog it up. I'll turn it back over to Bill, but very interesting stuff, though.
All right. Thanks, man. That was fun.
Jeff, real quick, I understand what you're saying when it comes to like that. I thought that was pretty funny, like being on a mall you can't get out of. My wife and I, we've done half a dozen to maybe 8 cruises, and them ships are kind of built like that. The promenade, it's just like it's like walking inside a mall. Now, Disney Cruise is a little bit different, and I'm not trying to tell you that definitely you should do it, but it's not geared towards adults in a way where it's not a mall setting. They have their little shops and everything, but it's definitely geared toward kids. There's actually like adult pool that the kids can walk through, but they can't hang out there. So if you go with, you and your wife, or even with kids, there is a certain area where the kids, I don't say aren't allowed to go, but they're not allowed to go there and kind of tie up the pool and all that. But like I said, my kids are 21 and 23, and the first time we went, and they're still asking, they really would like to do it again. It is a lot. Awesome. It is a lot different than a regular cruise, but it's like I said, that'd be something that you'd have to think about before you jumped into that.
Like I fear to love it. Like if I do it and I love it, I need a whole nother job.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, because like I said, we've done it 2 or 3 times, and the girls keep asking about it. I'm like, well, it's a little pricier, but I'll tell you what, it's definitely worth it. I'm going to say it's definitely worth it. Plus, they were talking about Castaway Cay and all that. They make it pretty nice for families to go. Real quick, when you're in Disney in February, do you guys have a place? Are you staying, obviously you're probably staying on a property somewhere, or?
Oh yeah. We're doing one of the All-Stars. We became DVC a couple of years ago, and oh my gosh, that's the best decision I've ever made. We love it.
Yes, it is.
And so we did the Polynesian in October, and we used all our points. And so we were planning on doing, like, we don't have enough points to do anything else right now. So we needed them to, I don't know, accrue, I guess is the way to say it. And so we were going to do a late trip on DVC. And then we just decided, you know what? No, we're not going to do a DVC trip this year. We'll save them up and we'll do one at someplace nice the next year. And we'll do a trip or two and just, spend actual real dollars. So when Mom's birthday is February 18th, and we were talking about the art festival, and it just all threw together. And so we're meeting, there's a couple family members, but they're staying off property, but wifey got a good deal. I don't even know what days there. I don't even know what days we go and what days we leave. But for the 3 or 4 days we're there, we're staying at one of the All-Stars. And, it's definitely the cheapest. I think it's the cheapest on property. It's, there are times where the family will go and we're going to enjoy the resort. And there are other trips where we're going to we need a pillow and we're going to be in the parks. And we've done the other 2 All-Stars and they're fine. I mean, do I love them? No. Do I love that it's Disney? Yeah. I mean, the theming is actually pretty fun. And this one will be I think we're sports. I'm pretty sure we're sports, whatever. It'll be a good time and we'll be in the parks. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing the Festival of the Arts. I mean, I've never seen it. So that'll be great. I have no idea if I answered your question.
I want to jump in real quick there, Jeff. You just brought up you just bought into the DVC a little while ago. Myself and Tom, we're both members. We each have 200 points. And I bought mine in 2006. Me and my son were down there in 2005, and we took the tour. And I kicked myself when Old Key West first opened. I didn't buy them. But anyway, how many points did you buy into, and what's your home resort?
I have no idea how many points we have, and the Poly is our home resort. I've told the story before. You've done it. Like, it's the timeshare sales pitch. And I always wanted to be DVC. Wifey was always very against timeshares in general. I guess I'm kind of against timeshares in general as it relates to cost. But so I'll give you the quick version. Sorry, we're at the Animal Kingdom and there's zebra walking by and there's giraffes walking by and this guy's selling us. And I'm totally ignoring him, man. I said yes because it was hot. It was at the end of our trip. They're going to take us on an air conditioned thing, give us a nice Disney gift card, a couple fast passes. I'm in. I'm going to sit down at Tap House. I could sit down and listen to some guy try to sell me something. I knew Wifey wasn't going to do it. So I wasn't listening in the least. Then we get to the point where, dude leaves and, tries to get husband to talk the wife into it. Wifey turns to me and says, hey, we can totally afford this. I'm like, what? I wasn't even listening. So she says, yeah, no, because she's really like, we're Dave Ramsey lunatics. So we put the money in the envelope. And so when we were doing our trips, we put our money aside every month into an envelope. And she said, this is a little bit less than what I put away every month in the envelope. We can just send it to them. And then we're DVC. I'm like, okay, sign me up. So he walks in and we give him the good news. And he says, so where would you like to have your home resort? And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what that means. He's like, well, we just talked about it. I'm like, well, where do I want to have my home resort? So it was not my finest hour of negotiating or, talk about an impulse buy. I didn't even know it was an option, but we got a very low amount of points. Whatever we got was at the bottom. Wifey would know. I have no idea. But, I got to stay at the Poly. I like saying that. I don't even I feel like I'm lying. Pretty cool.
Yeah, we won't go into a whole lot here on the DVC because our last 2 shows we talk about the DVC and
I was listening. Yeah,
and the different ways Tom bought it, how Tom bought in, and I bought directly through Disney. But it was definitely the best money we ever spent. That's for sure.
It's funny you say that. So in the sales process, the zoo was trying so hard, and I was totally not trying. I'm like, yeah, but I can buy it, resale. I could buy it on the internet, and he was getting mad, and I'm like, I don't care if you get mad, dude, get mad. What do I care? And I was just kind of having fun with it. And he's bringing me a soda and he's bringing me a Danish. And then all of a sudden, when we were buying it, I don't know. I wish I was videoing that. I'm trying to make the story sound funny, but I swear alive, it was pretty funny. The dude, he didn't even like me at the end and we still bought.
If you're like me, the people that don't like you, you just tell them to get in line, right?
Yeah, I'm not. It doesn't break my heart.
No, me either. I'm going to try and wake Bill up here, see if he's still listening. You there, Bill?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Do you have any questions you got for Jeff?
Yeah, I guess it's basically a real common one, but not a lot of people think about it day to day. What do you love the most about Disney?
That's the easiest and the hardest question ever, right? What I love most about it is that what me and my family get to do together. So I'll relate it to Disney pins. I didn't collect Disney pins for the first 6 or 8 years of my daughter, more than that, for quite a long time from when my daughters were collecting Disney pins. And, what else can you do with your 4 daughters that they love as much as you? Well, Disney certainly answers that. So I mentioned earlier, my grandfather worked for the Walt Disney Company before Disneyland was a thing. And my mom was a Disney fan and I'm a Disney fan and my wife was and is a Disney fan. And now the next generation, my 4 daughters are Disney fans. There's something that everyone loves that much but they're rare. Like, I love football. My girls don't love football. There's plenty of things I love that they don't love. There's plenty of things they love that I don't love, but we get to share it. And so our family trips are to Disney. Now with the YouTube channel and the podcast and all that, we get to talk about something that we love equally. It's so uncommon nowadays. I mean, I think it's a blessing. I really do. I love it. So that the answer to what I love best is that we all can love it equally. I'm 50 years old. I got a 3-year-old grandson. My wife is Mickey grandma to him. He comes over and we get to talk Disney with a 3-year-old. So it's definitely something that we can all love. Obviously, I like different things about it. I took my girls into the Country Bear Jamboree last time we were down there. And my now 18-year-old, I guess she was like 15 or 16 at the time, she's like, Dad, that was the most boring 20 minutes of my life. I'll never get that back. And I was having a ball. So I guess we don't all love exactly the same things, but that's what I love best, that we can share it with family and friends and the YouTube community and the podcasting community. And that was a long answer. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
No, that's fine. That's fine there. You're like us. We like talking Disney. And what you just said about the Country Bear Jamboree with you and your daughter, that just proves the generation there. That's what we grew up on,
right?
When we first went to Disney. And they're into the new stuff now. To me, the ways Disney has expanded, it's nice for the stockholders. The stocks keep going up and up and up. But I'm not a big fan of the intellectual property that they've acquired. I mean, I like it, but to me, that's still not Disney. I mean, to me, Disney is the Haunted Mansion, is the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, is, Space Mountain. That's the stuff that I love. I mean, the other stuff is nice, but I mean, it's not true Disney.
Here's how I look at that. I agree with everything you said, but I love what they're acquiring. So I'm a Star Wars nut. And I remember the moment I heard that Disney was buying Star Wars. And many of my friends were like, oh no, they're going to ruin it. I'm like, oh no, this ensures that I get more of what I love, more Star Wars. I love Country Bear Jamboree. I love Main Street. I love Haunted Mansion. I love Pirates. Things that you just mentioned, the nostalgia of Disneyland and Main Street and all of those things. I love that so much. But I totally understand that if they're not buying Marvel and putting Captain America in there, and shoot, we're probably gonna have the Simpsons in there at some point. And I don't watch Simpsons, and that might horrify me a little bit. But the truth is the truth. It goes away if we don't let it continually grow. Walt said it. It's never going to stop growing. I kind of love it. Like that I get to go to Disneyland and I get to see the Country Bear Jamboree, but me and my kids get to go ride, Toy Story Mania. I mean, that ride's amazing. It's a video game that I get to ride along in it. It's not unlike baseball. I'm a baseball nut. I'm a baseball purist. And I love talking about old ball players. But
we could talk for a month on that, Jeff, because me and Tom are the big nuts. We will have to come on your podcast one time and talk baseball.
Love it. I was going to ask you that offline, but we can absolutely. I would love
that. Baseball nuts. As a matter of fact, Tom's got a tattoo on his leg there of a Mickey Mouse in an old time baseball uniform with a baseball bat.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
well, and the thing is, so like my favorite players' records are falling now because I'm old. And am I mad at? I can't think of a record that's been broken lately. But when some venerable record goes down, are we supposed to be unhappy or happy? I think it's just better, and I think it's the same with Disney. Like, I love the Matterhorn. And I remember when you could ride the Skyway, I believe it was called, through the Matterhorn. That's not there anymore. I miss it, but should it be there? No, it shouldn't be there. The next thing should be there. Honestly, People Mover is the most boring 20 minutes of my life, but it's been there and people love it. And it's like Josh from Resort Team, it's his favorite ride.
It's mine too.
I think it is a place to make me fall asleep in the middle of the day in Disneyland. And so we've got to, I don't know. I think Disney does a spectacular job of holding on to the nostalgia, yet moving us forward into, come on, have you ridden Flight of Passage? I haven't done the new Star Wars ride yet, but everybody says it's the best thing in the world. It's a place where you can have both. And that's why I like it when they, buy up more land. You know what I really want them to do is build a park here in Fort Worth, Texas. And that would make me very happy.
Years ago, there was a rumor, and nothing ever came out of it. And I don't know if it was truthful or just a rumor, but we have an area probably about maybe 15, 20 minutes west of Atlantic City. And there was a big area of land that's kind of built up now.
Okay.
It's called...
in Virginia?
No, in New Jersey. Called Mays Landing, Hamilton Township. And there was a rumor back like in the 70s, I guess mid-70s, late 70s, that Disney was thinking about putting a park there. And then that kind of went by the wayside. And then that's when they moved to Virginia. And that was supposedly going to go. And... I think the biggest thing, the politicians were against it, and there was a big backlash, I guess, because that area is real rich in history from, the Civil War.
The local NIMBYs and the academics thought that Disney would be making $1 off of history. And I'm still annoyed that I love U.S. history. I teach kids history, and I can tell you kids would know more history if we could go have fun with it. The whole argument against it is they were going to make $1 off it. It's so short-sighted, and I'll just say it's stupid.
I would have loved that.
I mean, ask a kid next time you bump into one at Walmart to name 3 presidents, and you're going to go through 10 kids before you get an answer that's correct. And that's just U.S. history. I think it would have been wonderful. I don't know about the New Jersey thing, but the Virginia project would have been amazing. But
I saw the old conceptual art from that, and the pictures of it really looked like it was going to be nice, but it just got shot down.
There's great information and footage and all that on the Disney Plus show. I can't think of the name of it. What was it? It doesn't matter. It was a weekly show for the first 5 weeks, and the episode that was in that time period, they talked about that whole project, and we missed out.
If you don't mind, Jeff, we're about at our time here that we usually like to keep our weekly podcast, and if you can hang around, we'd love to have you record a little more so we can have you on our following week's podcast also, if you're up for it.
I'd love it. If you're not sick of me yet, I'm enjoying this very much.
All right. Well, we'll end it here, and we'll continue the conversation with Jeff on our episode 16. Okay, that's about all we have this week. We thank you for joining us again. And if you'd like to stay in contact with us during the week, you can find us on our website. You can find us at magicofthemouse.net for all your current Disney news. And on Facebook, you can find us at Magic of the Mouse. And the same thing on Instagram, it's at Magic of the Mouse also. And on Twitter, if you just do a search for Magic of the Mouse. So again, we thank you for listening, and we hope you'll be back next week, talk a little more Disney. And until then, remember, it all started with a mouse.
Well, Musketeers, that's about it. Tomorrow, a big special show. See you then.